Hi, flute players. So now you know how to put your flute together. You know how to get some air moving through the head joint by itself. That should be the second thing you do after you learn how to put your flute together. You always want to take the head joint out and just do air work on just your head joint. Well, let's just pretend that you've done all of that and now you want to see where your fingers go. Okay. So again, please make sure that you understand that this is my left, this is my right. I hope everything lines up perfectly. Sometimes in videos things kind of turn around and I hope that doesn't happen. So your left hand is an under, so I'm kind of underneath the flute, and your right hand is an over, like you're grabbing it, okay? All right, so let's talk about this. You've got an awful lot of keys, and you've got just a few on the back. We don't touch these little guys, and you might have to push pause a lot so you can look and then look, go back and forth. And we don't touch this one. These guys all work when you push other keys. That's when they do their job. So you've got some of this here, and you've got this plain Jane little key right here. Your thumb, your left thumb, goes on that plain Jane long flat key. Not on the round guys, not on this little teardrop thing right here, the flat one right there. And do you see how when you push this down, it pushes the round one down? So this is where your thumb goes. Okay. Now, if I'm looking at my hand without the flute, this is how it looks. Do you see how my fingers are angled? They're not like this because that's not how it works. I mean, you would have to have 3 keys exactly lined up perfectly, and that's not how it works. They go down, right? They're spaced out. So when you're holding the flute, you have to put this one up a little bit, this one out a little further, and this one out a little further. The thing is, this is the furthest key, and it's a shorter finger than these guys. So we have to kind of really work on that hand position so that it can reach comfortably. So if my thumb is here, I'm going to turn this around so you can see the front. Do you see how my fingers are not like this? Oh, buddy, that is not comfortable. Oh, a lot of flute players are really not wanting to play flute when they do that with their hand. You have to take your hand from this and make it like this. Okay? The first finger has to almost be like crooked. Okay, so where does that first finger go? I always say skip, hit, hit. So skip, hit, so that's a play. Skip, hit. So these two are the plays. And we skip this one and this one. Skip, hit. See how this one's angled down a little bit? Thank goodness, that's for your finger that's a little shorter. So when your thumb is on the thumb key, I'm going to take this and almost balance the flute right here on this joint, almost on my palm, but right closer to here. It's laying there. And my first finger can push the first key that you're supposed to, not the first one, but the second one, but it's the first one that you play, that you do play. Then you skip this guy and you angle it out, okay? Angle your hand. So important to angle your hand. Okay, this third finger, nice. I'm so glad that this key is bent down like it's supposed to be angled that way, because that's what allows your fingers to really make it. So look at this hand position without the flute. Look at my hand position. It's not like this. Woo! It's like this. Okay? So for the first while, I just want you to practice putting your hand so that you can get your fingers in this position. If you feel like you're going to drop it, that means you don't have it laying on that first finger, on the inside of that first finger, between where the finger comes down and the palm. Okay, like right in here. Okay, that's your underhand. Okay, that's your top left underhand. Okay, Your right hand is your overhand. Now, before I show you where your thumb goes, because it's going to go on the back where there's nothing there. There's no key for your thumb at all. You want to find on the body, not on the foot joint, but on the main body, the last 3 keys, 1, 2, 3. Go with your first finger. Go 1, 2, 3, and leave it there. And then let the other 2 guys come out. And then wherever that is, put your thumb like right underneath where your first finger is. Okay, again, take your first finger and go 1, 2, 3, then leave it there. Then let the other 2 guys come out and put your thumb where it's comfortable. Now, your pinky actually rests right here, which really explains why this rod right here does not line up with this rod. You do not line up those rods when you're assembling the flute. You want it to be, this rod should be in line with the top of the keys. And the reason is, this pinky has to reach. So if you have that lined up there, oh my gosh, where's the key? It's all the way down here now, and I have to go down here. So that's why that rod lines up there, so that your pinky is just naturally right there. And depending on how long your pinky is, you might have to swivel that a little bit this way or that way so that it feels like it's right there underneath your pinky. And this is how you hold the flute. Remember, left hand is under, curve, curve, curve those fingers. We talked about some kiddos trying to put all of their fingers like this. Oh, that's uncomfortable. But pinky does not play one of these keys at all. Pinky does not get to be on the flute. It goes over here. And a little secret is your pinky actually plays this guy. This is the most #1 bent key on the whole flute because it sticks out and people just bonk it. And so be careful of that. But that's why it sticks out, because that's actually your pinky key, which we are not going to use for a good long while. But that's why it's not on the flute. It's because it needs to be pushing here. Okay? Left hand under, right hand, 1, 2, 3. Pop those guys up. Pinky rests. Thumb is right where it should be, comfortable underneath those fingers. And this is how you hold the flute. So if I back out, now you can see I've got a nice straight line. It doesn't have to be perfectly level. That's pretty hard to do long term, but you don't want to hold it down like this, because look, you can't make a nice mouth formation when your flute's done like this. So don't play with your flute down to the ground, okay? Just make it so it's comfortable. And you don't have to know what fingers to push down right now in order to make a specific sound. That's in your book. We are going to get to that hopefully sooner than later. But holding your flute, just see if you can get a sound out. And if you cannot, that's okay. Take your head joint out and practice just on the head joint like in the other video. That's very important. We can figure out fingers and all of that, but once you get your fingers figured out, if you can't make a sound on the flute with a nice strong stream of air, then you're still not going to be able to play it. So air is so important. That's why when we were trying the instruments, I only had you try the head joint, not the whole flute. It's just overwhelming to put the whole thing together and try to get a sound out. It's much more difficult. So, okay, kiddos, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.